Welcome back to the channel. Today's case is a gut punch mix of addiction, accountability, and a judge who refuses to sugarcoat recovery. The People v. Peter Heenan opens with a bond violation and a judge immediately drilling into test anomalies. A SoberLink reading flagged, a possible environmental contaminant, and lab results that point to benzos alongside a diluted sample. Translation. The court thinks something isn't adding up, and while many hearings meander, this judge cuts straight to the relapse math. Missed aftercare, shaky timelines, and the reality that a SCRAM tether can only tattle, it can't keep a bottle closed. You'll hear Heenan explain his Zoloft script, a 45-day Florida rehab, and why a missed University of Michigan IOP left him filling the gap with AA meetings and SoberLink. Then comes the raw confession, White Claw by the dozen, high noon at sunrise, and tremors driving the next drink. The question isn't whether he cares about sobriety. He has 16 years behind him, it's whether the plan he chose is hard enough to work, stay through the end, because the judge makes a controversial but crucial call, a night in jail to keep him alive. Followed by a return appearance that looks dramatically different. Was that tough love justified? You tell me.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan DeRosa on behalf of the people.
Mr. Heenan was porching behind me.
Record to reflect we've had a bench conference in the case, and there was a bond violation. Court counsel, and we don't need to go through on the record. There were certain things that were explained. I've explained to counsel I'm going to want certain testing results from a SoberLink unit, as well as we're going to check into an environmental contaminant test from community corrections because of what it may be the nature of what looks like a tamper. Hopefully we can get that all accomplished, and I will adjourn the probable cause in this matter to September 5th. All right. Okay.
We start with a bond violation and two critical tests, SoberLink data and an environmental contaminant screen through community corrections. Why both? Because courts know alcohol detection can be fooled by timing, hygiene products, or even tampering. When a judge orders a SoberLink review plus contaminant testing, they're triangulating, did alcohol contact happen in the body, or on the skin, or in the device environment? Also note the adjournment to September 5th. That's not a delay tactic. It's a paper trail tactic. It gives probation and the court time to verify whether anomalies are innocent noise or deliberate manipulation. Quick question for you. If you were the judge and saw an apparent tamper pattern, would you detain now or wait for lab clarity?
And the record should reflect, just to briefly set it out, that while we were waiting for the courtroom change, I had a bench conference with counsel, and given those discussions, Mr. Heenan was, prior to calling his case, sent over to community corrections to obtain a SCRAM tether and also to take a full panel drug test. Went over, did that, came back a 0.10 on a PBT, could not have the SCRAM tether put on because of that. And also came back in terms of his drug testing with a possible dilution in terms of the creatinine level. Came back positive for benzos, and came back for positives on benzos.
Here's where things heat up. The PBT reading was high enough that community corrections wouldn't install the SCRAM tether, and the drug panel shows positive for benzodiazepines with possible dilution based on creatinine levels. In plain English, dilution means the urine looks unusually watery, sometimes from overhydration, sometimes from an intentional attempt to mask positives. On benzos, the defendant mentions a Zoloft prescription, but Zoloft sertraline is not a benzodiazepine. Benzos are a different medication class entirely. The judge's concern isn't the existence of a script. It's whether the drug positives match what's actually prescribed and whether the sample integrity is solid. Would you buy the explanation here, or do the lab flags make you suspicious?
You take Zoloft?
I do, sir.
All right. How long have you had that prescription?
Just started last night. I've taken it before, but I was in jail for 6 days, so I had to stop. And so then I started again. Sorry. The new script is from 2 days ago. Sorry.
Hold on. You got a prescription for Zoloft 2 days ago?
Yes, Your Honor. I did. So rehab, I was in treatment and they gave me a packet of Zoloft. So I've been using that, but I needed more. So I called my primary care doctor and he prescribed, I think 30.
Okay, you had that prescription filled.
Yes, Your Honor. And
So,
delivered.
hold on. I just need to back up for a moment because I'm trying to find out where you are right now and have a greater understanding. You were in rehab. When did you get out of rehab?
May 12th, I believe.
Okay. And when you got out of rehab, you had Zoloft.
Yes, they send you home with a 30-day supply.
And so at some point, then you ran out.
No, I still have some, but I needed to call my doctor anyway and tell him about this. And so I asked for a refill.
Okay. All right.
The court does a crucial credibility audit. When was rehab? How long? What aftercare was promised? We learn he completed an initially 30-day program extended to 45 days in West Palm Beach. Hanley left with Zoloft from treatment and later got a 30-count script from his PCP that all can be true and still fail. Recovery lives or dies in the handoff. Inpatient gives IOP, gives maintenance. If the IOP fails to launch, relapse risk spikes. The judge is mapping dates because recovery isn't just intention, it's structure, contact hours, and accountability. For you at home, do you think having medication and AA alone is enough without the IOP scaffold?
Where were you in treatment?
West Palm Beach, and it's called Hanley. It's a very good treatment center.
To what?
A very, very good treatment center.
How long were you there?
I was originally 30 days, but I extended to 45 voluntarily.
Was there aftercare that was to follow that?
There was. So I have a therapist. The University of Michigan IOP can't take me for 6 months because I missed an appointment, and that's
Because you missed an appointment with them?
yes, and that's their policy.
Yeah. So since you missed that, they could, have you been doing anything? Because you were supposed to go and do intensive outpatient,
Yes.
right? So at the point that you're supposed to go into intensive outpatient, you find out that you can't get in at U of M. What do you do?
So I have SoberLink, and my kids have a GAL. So I'm required to do multiple AA meetings a day.
Okay, but I get that.
Heenan says he leaned on SoberLink and multiple AA meetings daily when the University of Michigan IOP couldn't take him for 6 months after a missed appointment. AA can be life-saving, but the judge zeroes in on intensity. IOP is a clinical dose of treatment, multiple weekly sessions, curriculum, drug testing, therapist oversight. It's not just meetings, it's measured exposure to coping tools. The judges read, the path chosen might be the easier path, not the effective one for someone at acute relapse risk. That distinction matters. Have you ever chosen the doable plan over the necessary plan? Knowing the necessary one would actually help more.
But in terms of an IOP, I mean, sorry. But just go ahead if you want to talk.
Oh, I've reached out to Brighton. They have an IOP program. It's on Zoom now. And I think
Get enrolled?
I can.
Well, no. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. All right. And so I'm asking you these questions for a reason. I'm not asking you to try to trick you into anything. I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, where you are.
Sure.
So you get out of treatment. Part of the aftercare on the treatment program that you're in is that you were supposed to get yourself into an IOP. right?
Your Honor, that was part of the condition, also the sober link and one AA meeting a day.
Hold on. On whose condition?
Oh, the treatment center's recommendation.
Okay. You got me a little bit lost here. You go into the treatment center in Florida. You come out. They're basically, upon discharging you or releasing you from that, they're putting into place or give you a plan, an aftercare plan, right?
Yep.
Part of that aftercare plan was you were to get yourself into intensive outpatient treatment,
Yes, sir.
right? Their recommendation was something here local at University of Michigan, right?
Yes, sir.
You were supposed to call them, but missed that somehow and or another. And then, as per their policy, you can't get in for a while.
6 months.
Right.
Here's the quiet tragedy. Missing one scheduling step with IOP cascades into a 6-month lockout. That's policy, not punishment, capacity management, and attendance compliance in real life. The judge's frustration is strategic. He wants to know, what did you do next? If the door closed at why not walk into Brighton's Zoom IOP the same week? Courts reward replacement plans. Instead, we hear therapy plus AA plus SoberLink, which can be good, but it isn't the like-for-like substitute for IOP intensity. This is a powerful lesson. In recovery, when Plan A collapses, Plan B must be immediate, equal, and verified.
After all that happens, what do you do instead of, I don't want to put it that way. What do you then do? Nothing? You didn't get yourself into any type of treatment program. Is that right?
I found a therapist, and no, I did not find an IOP.
Okay. Let me just ask you, and I won't hold you to it only because I know you've been drinking, but why didn't you do that? Honest answer.
Sometimes I feel like AA is more effective because I've done an IOP program before and it's on Zoom. And sometimes I feel like AA and SoberLink is more helpful, especially in person AA.
Okay. Not yelling at you, but I'm just going to tell you, if you could figure it out yourself, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in right now, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it went just on your feelings of what you thought was best, we wouldn't be here dealing with this part of this, would we?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's why you have other people kind of guide you as to what you really need to do. I also have a feeling that the program that you laid out for yourself, while you think effective, is actually just easier than doing the IOP, because an IOP can be difficult.
I desperately wanted that Michigan IOP 9 to 1, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I just screwed it up.
Right. But then you also then didn't put anything in place once you had messed up.
Right.
And in fact, if you're going to be honest about it, the stuff that you put in place was just easier stuff so that you could say you're doing something.
That's fair, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it for a while. And that's why you weren't going to go into the IOP.
This is one of the most honest moments of the hearing. The judge flatly says the plan chosen looks easier than IOP, and Heenan agrees. That admission matters. Courts don't just evaluate violations, they evaluate insight. Insight signals change potential. If a defendant admits the shortcut, the judge might build a harder, safer structure. The judge also reminds him, if you could design your own recovery successfully, we wouldn't be here. It's not cruelty, it's calibration. By the way, what would you choose if offered? 3 months of strict IOP with daily accountability, or a lighter plan with more freedom but a higher risk of relapse?
It was the easier path.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Heenan, let me ask you this. You blew a 1-0. When did you stop drinking? When's the last time you had a drink?
So about 4, I woke up and my hands were shaking. So I drank some high noon. And then at
How
7,
much high noon did you have?
just enough till my hands stopped shaking.
Okay, what's that? Tell me what that means.
Like for me, it's like 4 to 6. And then at 7 this morning, when the liquor stores open, I had a DoorDash delivery of more high noon. And I drank again until my hands stopped shaking.
And how much did you have that time?
Your Honor, honestly, I just kept drinking until my hands stopped shaking. It was a 4-pack.
Okay, it was a 4-pack.
High noon comes in 4-pack.
Right. And so did you drink them all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how long did that take you?
I chugged.
Okay. So that DoorDash delivery at 7, that was the last you had?
Yes, and my hands were shaking, so I've got a bunch of empties, and this is how desperate I was. I would pick up all the empties on my table and see if there were sips. And there was one that was like that full, and I chugged that as well. It wasn't.
What? Hold on.
Sorry.
What time did you do that?
It was between 7 and 8 because I knew I had this coming.
Okay.
Listen closely to the physiology. Waking at 4 a.m. with tremors, drinking until the hands stopped shaking, DoorDash alcohol at 7 a.m., and chugging residual sips before court. That's not casual drinking. That's withdrawal management. Drinking to feel normal, not to get drunk. It's consistent with physical dependence, which makes white-knuckle it with a tether unrealistic. Courts look for patterns: morning use, quantity, speed, and problem-solving. Finding sips in empty for community safety and the defendant's survival. This pattern screams for medical containment and a structured step-down question to you. Does this level of dependence change your view on overnight detention?
I didn't want to come in under the influence.
So at 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock till, I don't know what time we first called your case. Well, when you went over to community corrections. So that was around 3 o'clock, maybe somewhere around there. Between 8 and 3, did you have anything to drink?
No, Your Honor. It was 2:30 at community corrections.
Okay, at 2:30. But so from when you chugged that half to 2:30, you didn't have anything to drink?
No, Your Honor. Last night, I drank quite a bit, though. I lost my boys in a dispute, and I've been on a bender.
Okay. So, Mr. Heenan, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to figure out where you are. I'm trying to, when you say you've been on a bender, what were you drinking the night before and how much?
White Claw. I drank, probably 15.
Okay. And that would have been last night sometime. When you say that you stopped about 4, you said, or something like that?
I woke up at 4.
You woke up at 4. So yesterday you were drinking White Claw. You had about 15.
Yes, Your Honor.
For over just that day, that evening?
All day, yeah.
Okay. And at some point, you stopped drinking. Either you passed out or you just stopped.
Yeah. No, I felt
probably passed out.
Passed out, Your Honor.
Yeah. And then you woke up at 4.
Yep.
And then you needed something else.
Yeah, my hands were
Right. I get why. But you needed something else, and that's when you got the other stuff. Or you already had that.
I already had it.
Okay.
I White Claw and High Noon. I usually when I'm sober, I'm a fit person. I run marathons and stuff. So High Noon and White Claw are the lowest calorie drinks.
Okay. And so then you switch to the High Noon and you did that, right?
Heenan ties the binge to losing custody time with his boys and a spiraling divorce, plus job loss to attend treatment. That's a textbook high-risk cocktail: grief, identity collapse, free time, and shame. He also frames drink choice as low-calorie, a rationalization that sounds health-conscious yet skirts the real problem: dose. The judge hears the subtext. He knows recovery's 16 years sober in the past, which means he also knows what real structure feels like. When people with long sobriety relapse, they often need more structure than first-timers, not less. If you've relapsed after a long stretch, what actually got you back? Comfort or constraint?
Chugged them.
You're Heenan. Do you think you're in trouble? I mean, just not with the court. I'm not talking about with the court, but just with you and your sobriety.
I do. I have 16 years of sobriety. So I know I can do it. I'm just having a hard time right now with this divorce and losing the kids. And just life is hard right now. I had to resign my job I loved. It's just been rough.
Okay, so right now you're also not working.
I had to resign to go to treatment.
All right. So here's what I'm just going to let you know that you're going to be staying at the Washington County Jail, temporarily revoke your bond. Okay. And I'm not doing that necessarily as a punishment, but
The judge temporarily revokes bond and orders a night in jail, explicitly stating it's not a sanction but a safety wall. He can't safely release Heenan while the community and Heenan himself face imminent risk. That's lawful under bond standards. The purpose is to ensure appearance and protect public safety, not to pre-sentence. Crucially, the judge sets a next-day review at a specific time. This combo, immediate containment plus rapid judicial follow-up, often signals the court intends to pivot Heenan into a harder, medically supervised plan once he's stabilized. Would you call this tough love or necessary treatment?
no way to release you and keep the community nor you safe. Okay? And I'll just ask you this. You're going to come back tomorrow. Okay? And I'm going to set that for 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. When you come back, and I may ask you this tomorrow, but I want to know right now, what would you like to see happen right now for you?
I would like it to SCRAM, tether, and start taking antabuse.
Okay, Mr. Heenan, is that what you really would like to see happen?
I need some accountability, yes.
Okay, but you also need some help.
Right. I agree. I do have a sponsor.
Have you called your sponsor? No, you haven't. Hold it. Answer my question. Have you called your sponsor?
No, I was too embarrassed.
Yeah. And the reason that you want the SCRAM and the antabuse is because those are sort of easy things that I can do out of sight. Okay. You don't have to answer that.
Okay.
Okay, because I know what's going on. I've been doing this a minute. Okay. Between now and tomorrow morning, here's the thing that you're going to have to do. You're going to need to do the hard work. This isn't going to be easy. And you have to get in your head, because you've done it before, but you have to get in your head that there's not going to be an easy path. This is going to be a hard path for you. And I think you really do know that inside. You just don't want it to come out. People don't come to me whenever they're before me and ask me, give me a hard way to go, Judge. They don't do that, right? So I'm not expecting you to necessarily say that to me. I'm just telling you, this isn't going to be this easy path, this shortcut. And you got to wrap your head around that, right? You just have to understand that. So we're going to try to get something in place for you because I put it this way. If I let you out right now, you don't make it through the night without drinking. And you know that.
Not with the SCRAM.
I could put that SCRAM on you. You're going to drink.
I spent.
No, you're going to drink.
Okay.
That SCRAM is not a magic bullet. It's not going to stop you. The only thing that SCRAM is going to do, quite frankly, where you are, the only thing the SCRAM is going to do is just tell on you. It's not going to stop you from drinking. Realize that you pounded down 15 White Claws, and then you did 4, then that wasn't enough, and you had to call somebody to bring you more alcohol. Do you think a thing around your ankle is going to stop you after that? No, it's not.
Jail was.
This is the most candid bench speech of the day. SCRAM tether doesn't prevent drinking, it reports drinking. The judge predicts that in Heenan's current state, the tether would simply tell on you while he keeps drinking. That's not fatalism, it's realism. Tech can verify compliance once a recovery engine is running, but it won't start the engine. The judge demands the hard path, intensive treatment, likely clinical oversight, and real-time accountability. He also reframes jail as a short, life-protective pause, not a moral judgment. Viewers, where do you fall on this? Should courts prioritize therapeutic placement first, or secure detention first when risk is acute?
Was really hard for me.
I know.
So that alone would stop me.
For a while.
I understand.
But you're going to go tonight. And then we're going to see you tomorrow morning. And Mr. Heenan, you'll never, well, maybe one day you'll understand it. I'm not doing it to be mean. I don't want to lose you. And I know if I let you out of here, there's a good chance we're going to lose you.
Thank you.
Our class conference will be adjourning. I'll just also call it a bond hearing. 2024 at 9 a.m. or as your invite indicates. Anything additional?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
All right. Bond will continue. Mr. Heenan? You're looking a whole heck of a lot better.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm just going to let you know. I saw counsel back there. I did not recognize you. That's how well you're looking. I was looking for someone that looked, pretty straightforward. I was looking for somebody that looked very much unhealthy and gaunt. And that's not what I have before me.
Saved my life.
Thank you, sir. So, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Continue.
Let's close the loop. We watched a judge identify immediate risk markers, lab flags, admission of heavy recent use, morning tremors, and lack of equivalent IOP, and choose a controversial safety measure, overnight detention with the next day. Check-in, what happened? Heenan returns, looking markedly better, and the courtroom acknowledges it. The legal takeaways: 1. Aftercare gaps are not technicalities, they're risk multipliers. SCRAM is a compliance tool, not a cure. 3. Courts can lawfully detain pretrial when safety is at stake, so long as the response is proportionate and reviewed quickly. Bigger picture, recovery in the justice system works when structure matches severity. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns